2018.
Alright, what's up, guys? Here we are. I'm here with the Green Viper.
Hey, what's going on, guys? And this is Sonic 4 the sequel Aftermath, and fan game released in 2011. It was originally conceived as a gap between Sonic before and after the sequel, two fan games. However, it was later turned out to be a demo for a later one, Sonic Chrono Adventure. Despite this, it's still quite fun, and be ready to go over a run in just a second whenever Paulie's ready. So just let us know.
Give me one second.
Okay.
Second. Alright, you can do the countdown whenever you're ready.
Alright, okay. 3, 2, 1, go. So we start off in Sunset Sun Zone West, already the fastest zone in the game, so you're getting sort of strapped in. But then again, you won't really be seeing too much speed. A lot of it comes from, how you execute correctly. In this case, it's just the game actually allows you speed in this section. And as you can see, the title is incredibly bad here. But coming up now is probably my favourite trick in the run. This has just been dubbed the Fling, and you can see why here. Because it literally flings you straight, speed first, into that section where you normally are supposed to run. Yeah, no, Sonic Game with speed is quite odd, but we'll go over it anyway. So this is one of two cutscenes in the game, and both of them are incredibly short, and both of them are in this level, so we're actually going to be, not really too focused on cutscenes, at least, compared to the later game, Sonic Chrono Adventure. There's two path options here, the top and bottom path. Go on the top path because we need to get the sword in order to go on the bottom path. And yeah, this music is indeed chill. But I should quickly explain the difference between the categories. So there's any percent Sonic, any percent Sonic no skips, and any percent Tails. Any percent Sonic is basically this route, except you only have to go through 3 levels, and you only have to go through 3 levels because you start off with all your abilities, disable all cutscenes, and disable all abilities. All you have to do is just basically play the game and then not reset after you've beaten it. It was an incredible oversight by Lake Shepard, but aside from that, any percent Sonic no skips is just starting the game as normal, and any percent Tails no skips is starting the game as normal. So we're here in the second level, Sunset Sun Star, or Sunset Sun, is it? No, Sunset Star, sorry. They have very similar names, the naming mechanism, or whatever, for these games are confusing. This stage has less speed and more how you execute in terms of speed, so we've got to do a lot of jumps, short hops, long hops, all that sort of stuff. We actually come back to this music, not music, I'm reading chat again. We actually come back to the stage in a second, and it has a whole different set of motifs, but for now we can just chill out with the jumps. And yeah, 30 ring limit is a very, it's a strange thing. I don't know why it's here, but adds a slight bit of challenge, although it's forced challenge rather than actual challenge in this case. So almost at the end here, there's not really too much else to explain with this stage, but when we get to the next stage we're going to have a few more bits to explain, so for now just enjoy the music since you guys seem to be really liking it. But yeah, a lot of spin dash jumps here as well. This isn't like the pinnacle spin dash jumps, we get a lot more of them later on, but as for now, this is where we get our first power-up of the game, and you're about to see it is the sword power-up, and it's not as exciting as it sounds, honestly. You'd expect like Black Knight, like slaying your enemies with the sword, but you really don't. All you use it for is to break down arbitrary rules which the game sort of sets up for you. Not a lot of fun, but you still got to deal with it anyway. The next power-up, and the only other power-up in the game, is much more fun. And here we see the sword rules in action. We got to break down quite a few of these in this level, so not especially the most fun thing to do, but deal with it. Coming up here is a completely jank jump, and I switched to the sword there because those enemies are very annoying, because what they want to do is you'll rebound off them when you're in your normal jump state. So if you jump while with a sword, it's not the normal jump state for some reason, so you can just go straight through them. And yeah, indeed, this is the 1000 degree knife challenge put straight into a video game. And this level's gimmick is obviously using the sword, and its second gimmick is this, platform cycles. If you're familiar with any Sonic game, you're familiar with platform cycles. Just like Mission Streak from SA2, very annoying, very intrusive, lose a lot of time if you mess it up like I did right there. A lot of reused sound effects, as people are pointing out right now. All of this stuff is reused from previous fan games or previous original games. So Nintendo, Sega, all of his previous fan games, all given some representation here. Also, thanks for the good luck, Sid, much appreciated. Coming up next is my favourite level in this game. This is Lost Liquid, and this is very execution heavy, so hopefully we'll be able to get some of the cool tricks in this stage right here. And it also features platform cycles, but only twice, and they're not really that bad when you lose them. So, not too much to worry about, but now we're about to get to another sword wall, of course. Finally, we can get to the fun stuff. So messed up that jump right there, doesn't matter, not too much time lost. But some more spin dash jumps coming up right here. So hug the wall left, because just like a Sonic game, this game likes to go left a lot, and there's never something you really hear in Sonic. Like, it's the complete opposite of what you'd normally do, but it's a Metroidvania rather than a typical Sonic platform, and I got the jump nice. So now, just going to progress for the rest of the stage. It's a pretty difficult trick, very little time to get that. Used to call this 6-tap corridor because there's a lot of spin dashing to do in here, but I realised you actually don't have to 6-tap, it's just a lot quicker to do 1 or 2 taps. And yeah, this track is reused. This is Holoska, or Cool Edge Knight from Sonic Unleashed. Didn't even realise that until the other day when someone pointed it out. I'm ashamed to be a Sonic fan at this point. So, aside from that, we got a new route coming up here because we changed the route a bit earlier on. Oh, a bit earlier on, I mean like a few months ago. Actually, a few days ago, whoops. So, instead of going up and having to break down another wall, you can go down there and just completely destroy all speed. We can destroy the intended route, so that's what we do. Back here at Sunset Sunzone West, and now we're going to finally go on that fabled bottom route, so not really too much else to say, let's just do it, and I don't know why I did that, but it's not the intended route at all. Bottom route has some cool strats. We got one particular cool speedrun trick coming up right here, but first, the final sword wall of the game, and that's done. Never have to deal with the sword again, except for one unintended instance, which I'll be getting into later. But as for now, let's get into another fun stage with some cool tricks. This is Metro Madness Zone, and what we've got to do here is we've got to do a death abuse. So we get a power-up right at the end of the stage, but it's very slow to run back and get it. So we've got to instead die, and that warps us back to the beginning of the stage. But that requires getting below 10 rings by the time we get to the end of the stage, so we've got to be a bit careful on how many rings we collect and how many we lose. And yeah, this is a nice track as well. This game has really good music, so if you want to listen to any more of the tracks in this game, go ahead and download the original before the sequel soundtrack. There's -1 track that all reused from there, so that's a great soundtrack as well, got many more tracks than this one. But we did pretty well over there, considering. So now we got less than 10 rings, so we can do the optimal death abuse. Because we only have to run into an enemy twice instead of 3 times now. And here we go, these are the jet boots. So you can either hold them down or press for a short amount of time. Either way, you get a long boost or you get a short boost, whether that's in the air or, running along the ground. So there we go, got the rings, and now we can do the death abuse. This will warp us back straight to the beginning of the stage. Now we just charge, run, and go the intended route. So this is where you'd come when you're playing any % Sonic, or you're playing any % Tails No Skip straight away. You just come here. But since obviously we had to go and collect power up first, we had to warp all the way back. So now with these jet boots, fun fact: because we died, we technically didn't collect these. So now if we actually die, or we switch away from if we just switch away from these boots, we won't be able to ever use them again. But for some reason, still stay active despite the fact we've technically lost them. Just don't switch and it'll be good. Almost at the end of this stage, and only one more stage uses these boots. Power-ups in this game are very weird. They only use them for one stage at a time and pretty much never use them again, except for their intended purpose. It's not like other Metroidvanias where, you get a power-up and use it all throughout the game. No, just at certain points. Yeah, this uses the jet boots too, and yeah, Sonic is flying this up, but now, finally, at the end, yeah, woohoo, I know, right, but Just one more charge right here, and then we can get to the final boss. So this final boss is a bit janky. Basically, you're meant to like jump off springs and hit him one by one, but that's slow. So we discovered a quick kill strat where you can barely clip into his hitbox when you're using the sword, and with 4 slashes he goes down and you can kill him. And this is a nice track, but we barely get to hear it. Spin dash to the end, and sorry I didn't give a warning. Time. And that was pretty much the game. It's very short, but still a sweet run. So anyway, Paul, if you have any donations you want to read, go right ahead. Rip. New time? Sub 10, wow, jeez. That's pretty impressive. I'm going to have to see what that time is. Not 9:20. Jesus, that's good.
Oh, sorry. I went to get water. I didn't know you could be done so quick.
Yeah, the estimate was incredibly generous because I submitted it back when the time was still 11 minutes. And if you want to see a fun screen, I'm going to reset the game. And there you go. It's a fun screen. Yeah, any donations you want to read, go right ahead. Got some time.
Nope, but there can be if someone wants to donate below. Info on the charity is also down below if you're curious. It goes directly to the charity up below. They operate out of Pennsylvania.
Just wondering, since the estimate's so generous, could I show off another route quickly? Because it's only like 3 minutes.
Sure.
Okay, we'll do that then. Killed world record. I still don't know how that happened. That was a pretty tight run overall though. So we're going to show off Tails, and Tails is a bit different because you can show what happens when you don't have to go to the top route. So no timer for this one. We're just going to straight up ball it. Yeah, legendary, I know. So Tails has a flight ability, as you'd guess, because he's Tails. So this first stage doesn't really change too much, but the later game changes a bit, and we also get to see the final boss, which I'm really bad at, so enjoy that. New world record, damn. Like, still not over that. But we get one more attempt at the fling. So here's the fling. As you saw it earlier, and I did it properly that time, landed on the platform that I was meant to. So, another cutscene. We only see one cutscene as Tails, because obviously we don't go on the top path, so we don't see that one. So, yeah. Now, one thing you may notice different is Tails doesn't have any abilities, but rather he only has his flight, so we can just skip straight past here, and I do this flight. I'm not sure if it saves any time, but it's better than going on the floor. So back here at Metro Madness, and now no messing about, can just go straight up here, and this is a lot more mashing heavy because rather than like holding down a button like we did for the jet boots, instead we got a mash. So if you can hear them somehow, enjoy the sweet controller noises. The route once again doesn't really change too much here. In general, this route is quite simple, but it's just called Show Off Tails. He's finally here. I'm glad he's at least unlockable in this game, because before the sequel, in Chrono Adventure, he's not even an option, except when you use cheats, so at least he's included here. Just one more stage again, and then we can finally get to the end. The true final boss can reveal his colours.
So last year, it was all about me drinking some chocolate milk, but this year, I got some watermelon.
Damn.
Give me some watermelon right now.
Not really too much to explain, except that run right there, or that jump right there used to kill a lot of runs. Shouldn't have got it the other way around, that would have been awkward. But now, speaking of killing runs, it's the true final boss. We don't get to skip him this time, and we don't get to, do the any % Sonic where we just run right past him. Yeah, this tailspike is really nice though, I will admit. So there's a little bit of a tactic that I'm going to try and go for here. So you want to land roughly around this blade of grass, and you can wedge yourself in between his springs, and then you can come up here and do some sick bounces off him, get a few hits. Aside from that, it's pretty much pure luck as to what I get. It's the thing, he's just really slow, and it's not consistent as to how many hits you get at all, so that's why I'm glad we don't actually do this Yeah, this boss music is super hype. Anyway, with that, we are finally done with Tales, and that is time, despite the fact there's no timer. But yeah, just before I go, just quickly want to say shout outs to the Before the Sequel and After the Sequel Discord. Go on to the speedrun.com page and for each of the games, and you can find a way in there. Currently learning to route Sonic Chrono Adventure, and you can help us out basically if you enjoyed this run. And we can also teach you how to speedrun other games. We've got plenty of people in there who know plenty about these games. But anyway, thank you so much for having me, and if there's any final donations, go right ahead.